Everyone, welcome back to Eliminating Bits with Shield. I'm Shield, and this is the channel where we talk a little bit about life, a little bit about love, a little bit about relationships, sometimes a little bit about my opinion, but most of all, offer a little bit of encouragement. Thank you so much for joining me today to sip a glass of lemonade and talk about our topic for today, which is guarding our hearts. You know, our hearts are very important to God. It's mentioned several times in several scriptures about our heart and the way He views it. Proverbs, and what we're talking about today is going to come from Proverbs basically. Proverbs 4 and 23 tells us above all else to guard our hearts because everything we do flows from it. Jeremiah 17 and 10 says that God, He searches our hearts and our minds. And so our hearts are important to God. And that's why He tells us to guard our hearts. Because the actions, our thoughts determine our actions. And once we think on something, if we think on it long enough, then it enters our heart. And then from there it becomes an action. For the word says everything that we do comes from our heart. So that means all our actions, whether it's love, whether it's hatred, whether it's jealousy, whether it's envy, whether it's strife, all our actions, the things that we do, come from what we have allowed to enter into our hearts. So, and it does say that, and because God tells us to guard our hearts, that means that we do have control. We can't control what enters our hearts because we were told to guard it. So that's a thing that we do, something that we're responsible for, to guard our hearts. Now, you're probably saying, how do we do this? How do we guard our hearts? Well, the first thing we do is we take control of our thoughts. If you are having thoughts, negative thoughts about yourself, about others, about situations in your life, whatever it may be, then you have to control those thoughts. Now, this is what will happen if you don't. Now, let's say, for example, that there's a person that you're having negative thoughts about this person, and you think on it, and you think on it about this person, and you think on it about this person, and then the next thing you know, it's going to enter to your heart. Now, it's either going to be jealousy or envy or dislike or hatred or, something to that effect. So that's the thought. So that's the thought, the negative thought, and it enters into our heart. Now, the action that flows from that is that you'll stop speaking to that person, or you'll start avoiding that person, maybe rolling your eyes at that person. And if you watch crime shows like I do, I love them, then maybe even harming or killing that person. But I'm just saying, actions, all those actions, those are the actions that follow that. You allow that negative thinking to flow down into your heart, and the action that came out was because of the thinking. So that's because you didn't guard your thoughts. You let these thoughts just continue to repeat over and over and over in your mind until it entered your heart and it came out as an action. The second thing is watch out for the enemy. Now, the enemy speaks to our mind. God speaks to our heart. The enemy speaks to our mind. And he suggests things. Now, I remember people used to say, oh, the devil made me do it. The devil made me do this. No, he didn't. The devil doesn't have the power to make you do anything. He can suggest things. He can remind you of things, but get you to thinking about things. But he can't make you do anything. So that's the whole point of guarding your thoughts. You got to watch out for the enemy. You guard your thoughts the same way. I know you've seen at the club when we used to go to the club, and you had the bodyguard at the club, and he was there, determining who came in and who did not come in. Well, it's the same thing with the enemy. When the enemy comes to you suggesting negative things and suggesting things that are not true or not right, then you discard that. Immediately you push that away. You don't think on it. Don't allow it to sit there and mull around in your mind, because if it mulls around in your mind, then it'll enter your heart, and then it becomes an action. That's how we end up doing things that that we regret, that we wish that we hadn't done, we hadn't said, and things of that sort, because we thought about it first. We thought about it, and it lingered around until it entered our heart and came out as an action. So that's what you do immediately. As soon as the enemy suggests something to you, then you immediately you discard that, push it away. You do not let him in, just like the bodyguard at the door. Then you don't let him in the door of your mind with those thoughts, and which is going to lead to the third thing. And the third thing is to renew your mind. And the way we renew our minds is just like the enemy just came and suggested this, then you immediately replace it with something else. If the enemy comes to your mind and say, well, you can't do this, you can't do that, you immediately you discard that. Yes, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. If he comes to you and say, you're not this, you'll never be this, you're not strong enough, you're not good enough, yes, I am the righteousness of God. I am a child of the King. Immediately you come back, and that's how you guard your thoughts. The Bible tells us in Philippians 4:8 says that we are, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are of good report, good virtue, praise, for us to think on these things. So God already know. You guard your thoughts. You guard your thoughts, and he even tells us what to think on. So we think on the good things. We think on the positive things. We think positively about ourselves, about others. And we refute anything that is against God. We know that we're the righteousness of God. We know that he loves us, and we know that he wants the best for us. So therefore, those are the thoughts that we need to be thinking, no matter what the enemy suggests and what anyone else suggests. Because, people come to you suggesting things too. Oh, you can't do this. Oh, that's too big for you. You shouldn't do this. Or this is still a thought that's placed in your head. And what you do is that, you just continue to trust God. You continue to pray, unto God, and for him to give you the answer. But always know that God wants the best for you. He wants the best for me. He wants the best for all of us. So on today, I just want to encourage you guys to, above all else, guard your heart. Guard your heart, because our actions flow from it. And we really can't be better, and we can't be our very best if we allow these impurities to into our heart and to take over our heart. And so let us strive to have clean, pure hearts, and so that we are pleasing unto the Lord. But most of all, so that we can live our life, at our best potential and be the best people that we can be. You guys, I love you guys. I thank you so much for joining me today. And don't forget, you guys, to like, share, comment. Please subscribe. If you're looking at this today and you have not subscribed already, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell and be alerted to new videos. Most of the time, late Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, when they're posted. So I just thank you so much. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.